Hey developers, welcome to our digital playground again. Today we are about to give some good things to your MySQL inserts. Are you tired of waiting for inserts? Get ready to blow it away. So what are we gonna do today? Basically speaking, we'll write some inserts into a batch. And for example, you will have 3 users records need to be inserted into the database. The ID would be 1, 2, 3, and the name would be user 1, user 2, and user 3. And you want to combine them together so you will get just one cycle. And I will compare those two ways to show you how useful it is. So first thing first, let's begin with the traditional way of single data inserts. It's very plain. I will write the code to make it happen. And I will put the code into the GitHub repository and put a link in the description so you can check it out. And let's open the Golang. It's an IDE that I prefer. If you want to use another IDE that you like, feel free to use it. And I will use the GORM to write the code today. By the way, the GORM already supported TiDB officially. As you can see, connecting to database, and there is a TiDB, right? So don't hesitate, try it out. And we need to use those, those two dependencies. The first one would be gorm.io/gorm, it's gorm itself. And another one would be gorm.io/driver/MySQL. It's a MySQL driver of GORM. They wrapped up the official MySQL driver to make it simpler to integrate with GORM and added more features into it. The TiDB support code was also added into this part too. Okay, package chip, let's show some code. First, we need to add some dependencies. The dependencies are very important, so I already prepared for it. So just copy it. That'll be GORM and its driver for MySQL. And then we need to add a model. The model is a term for the ORM. It will correspond to a table in the database. So let's type user, right? We already mentioned that, user struct. And yeah, that'll be a model. And we need to add 2 fields into it. That'll be ID and names. So the field will be ID and the type would be int, right? But you know, in Golang we use uppercase at the first letter to indicate it's a public field. But if we need to use lowercase in the database, so we need to add some extra information to GORM if we want to specify a name or change something else, you know. And we call it a text. It's just a string, and that would be GORM, and you know, you need to add some double quote, and yeah, just like a primary key, right? It's a primary key. Primary key. As I just mentioned, we need to name that column, and the name would be ID. Yeah, that's all. And the next field would be names, and the type would be string. Yep. And this time we just use the GORM and column. Oh, we don't need to specify it's a primary key or something else because it's not a primary key at all. So that'll be names. Yep. So that'll be a model. And if you want to specify the model's table name, and for example, we will use the lowercase for the first U, implement an interface by giving a method like a function and user, right? And you need to implement that that function. The name would be table name. Yeah, very straightforward. And I give a return. Yeah, that'll be string. and you can just return your table name. Return, and wait, let's see, user. Yeah, very straightforward, right? Let's give a main function at first. So we will run at here. So next will be the DSN. DSN stand for data source name. So yeah, also very straightforward. And we can get this DSN from the TiDB Cloud. Let's go to the TiDB Cloud, right? TiDB Cloud. And yeah, we can create a new cluster. Yeah, Singapore, and let's see, block insert cluster, and click create. Yeah, and then just wait a little bit. By the way, it's totally free, and you don't need to buy a credit card or something else. It's totally enough for a small business. If you want, just try this out. I'll put a link into the description below too. Yep, and we need to wait the creation, and yeah, it's okay. And we can click the connect, right, and create a password. Because we never generated password yet, so generate a password and click there and select go. That'll be okay. And we can copy just like that. That'll be the DSN. So we can come back to our Golang and just give it. And by the way, we need to add something of that. That will be TLS equals to true. That's because the TiDB Cloud serverless only support the security connection, so we need to open the TLS. So that would be TLS equals to true. Okay. So after that we can just copy some code from there. Yeah. It's a GORM documentations. Yeah. Okay. And after that we need to deal with that error. So if error is not new, we need to panic error. Yep. And then we need to auto migrate this user model. That because we don't have this user yet, and we want the GORM to create a table or something else. Yeah, so just auto. Okay, and we need to use the user's pointer. Yep, yeah, that's all. And we already created a table. After that, we need to insert something one by one, right? And we can just calculate the time, like from the start time. Time.now. Alright. It will be the start time and the end time. And time. That will be also time now. Alright. And we can calculate it, like, and print it. I will do it at the same time. Print and time. And set the start time. And to make a string. And that's all. And you can just directly run it. And let's see what will happen.
A few minutes later.
Okay, the result is coming, and that will be 3 minutes and 25 seconds. That'll be so slow. But why? Why so slow? Because we just insert 100 record, right? So it's not a big amount. And the main reason is we're waiting. Yeah, in each interaction, and we need to wait the circle sent to the TiDB, and then wait for the result to come back to our computer. And the next round, we need to wait for this back and forth progress to keep going. And plus, I'm in China and the cluster in Singapore, so it enlarged the delay. But that'll be so annoying. Can we cut down a little bit? So yeah, we have the method to cut down. So let's change a little bit. So for example, we'll add a new table, because the user table already be used. So let's say table user, but bulk, B-U-L-K, bulk, which means bulk insert. So we'll just, at that time, we'll just use one time to insert all of the 100 records, just one time. So let's change a little bit for this kind of stuff. Let's make a list at first. So that'll be user list, and we can make user, and we can locate, and we can put it. All right, and thus we can put it into there, and we delete it. Okay, we have the user list with 100 users pointers, and after that db.rate in batches. Did you see that? And we can just use the list and see 100. That would be batch size, right? The one batch will be 100. Okay, and let's run it. See what will happen. Okay, this time just 1.44 seconds. That'd be so low compared to that, 3 minutes and 25 seconds, right? And you might say, what if I close to my database? Is the bulk insert useless at all? Nope. Already tested for you. Even the insert service and the database in the same machine, you can also observe that bulk insert is much faster than loop inserts. In summary, when it comes to MySQL or TiDB, bulk inserts are your express lane. It can reduce the cost and delay time. In the most of the scenarios, it can raise the performance of the whole system, perfect for handling heavy data loads in a flash. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely to avoid overloading your system. That's all for today. If the tip helped you step up your database game, smash that like button and subscribe for more insights. Drop your experience and queries in the comments. Keep experimenting and stay ahead in the tech race. See you in the next video.